What's up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode. And we have a big bit of news, and it's a sponsor bonus for us in this episode, something I've been crying for and hoping for a very long time, and it's finally arrived for this race here at Canada. Very welcome upgrade indeed. And I mean, 750 resource points, that is a lot, and that almost equates to 2 Grand Prix weekends worth of points, so that is going to be a very welcome addition indeed for this weekend. And we've still got the entire Friday practice sessions to get through, and also Saturday and Sunday in terms of the qualifying and the race, so we have a lot of resource points on the table hopefully to achieve this weekend, plus the sponsor bonus. So hopefully we can be getting a nice tasty couple of upgrades, or maybe a big major upgrade at the end of this episode, hopefully, if it all goes according to plan. But speaking of upgrading, going to Friday practice, getting those all-important resource points, we had a very good session, and we scored purple and absolutely everything. The car felt absolutely sublime, and we won here last year, so I had that in mind, and the car felt good, just like last season. However, Ferrari and Force India do look like very strong threats. Ferrari in particular, obviously they're much stronger than they were this time last year, so they're going to be a real challenge. I think we can maybe match Mercedes, if not be a little bit better than them, because I feel like I've got the pace in the car. But in Saturday qualifying now, and in Q1 we comfortably go second place, just behind Lewis Hamilton there on ultra soft tyres, and that lap would see us comfortably through in P5 into Q2. So overall, a very good way to start off Saturday here. And speaking of Q2, we would go for the slower super soft compound tyres, and purple first sector there to start things off. Very good first sector, and I noticed pretty much we were strong in the first and third sector, but very poor in the second, so we sort of make up for where we lose out in the other two. But overall, the car felt very good. It was a very good lap on those super softs, and the question is, where's this lap going to put us in the pile? Hamilton currently quickest, and we are actually going to go faster, and we go top of the pile in Q2 for now, and then eventually we would drop down to P4 come the end of the session. However, Massa does get in P9 there, so double Q3 for Williams. Very good indeed for us as a team. But going to Q3 now on the ultra softs. On my first run, I pushed the limits a little bit too hard and actually get punished for track extending, which is fair enough, as I try to find the limits that did not exist there on that lap. But then we went for one final attempt, one banzai attempt here with the time running out, and we had to really wrestle the car and throw it in there. As you can see, turn 1, really chucking the car in. Turn 2 also third gear, making sure we get some good traction on the exit, and then into the chicanes of 3 and 4, really wrestling the car in there, throwing it in there, hoping the back end sticks, as we now go flat out through the swooping right-hander into the first sector split. And currently purple faster than anybody, and that man who's top of the pile is Kimi Raikkonen, so we've got our work cut out to try and beat the Iceman, the untouchable Iceman. But now on the back straight, going into the next right-left chicane, really using all of the track available here. A slight corner cut there, I will admit, on the entry of the corner there, but luckily the game did not give us a penalty for the second time running. And now we're going to try and find our break point for the hairpin, 100-meter board, down to third gear, pick up your apex, and then it's critical you get good traction out of here, and that will dictate how much straight line speed you have at the end of this back straight. And so far we're looking very good to be challenging for a pole here, if we can just nail the final chicane leading into the Wall of Champions here. Down to fourth gear, trying to pick up the first apex, and then throwing it into the second one all over the curbs, as close as you like to the right hand side. It's been an absolutely perfect lap here at Montreal and across the line, and I think it is going to be pole position, and that is absolutely brilliant. Our first pole of the season, I believe, and what a lap that was. And not a single mistake in that one. Like I said, if you exclude the small little corner cut, that was an absolutely flawless lap. So overall, a very good qualifying session for me, and a lot of momentum carrying to the race tomorrow. Look at that, 4/10 clear than the nearest car, so very dominant in the end, and 1.5 seconds faster than my teammates. So we really did well there in that qualifying session, and we deservedly take pole position for the round number 7 for the Canadian Grand Prix. But we are now going to move into Sunday for the race for round number 7 for the Canadian Grand Prix. Right, here we are on the grid then for the Canadian Grand Prix, and 2 in a row on the front row, and especially in first place more specifically, and a very good qualifying yesterday. The car was absolutely sublime around here, and I did come into this weekend, with high spirits after the last race, and also knowing I've got a really good track record around this circuit. So with that in mind, we're going to try and once again make the most of the opportunity we have and the good car underneath us and at this particular circuit, and try and get as many points as possible. So we're going to try and go for the race win here today, and going to try my absolute best to try and achieve it. But in terms of the strategy here today, it's going to be very interesting, because I think I'm the only person in the top 10, again, starting on the slower super soft tyres. However, there's a bit of a twist compared to Monaco's race, which is going to be, as you can see, we have rain expected very early on this race. Once again, 2 squares, just like the Monaco race, but this time in the first half of the race. So with that in mind, it's going to be very interesting to see how the rain sort of, fares into this race. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the car under fuel by about 1.5 laps, but I've got a feeling it's going to be one of them ones where it's not going to get wet enough to go into intermediates. I might be proved wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. But overall, it's going to be a very interesting race, this one. Strategy, just like the last race, is going to play a very major part in it. So hopefully we can nail it and get it absolutely spot on and therefore win another race. So here we go. We're going to jump straight into it now for round number 7 for the Canadian Grand Prix. Right then, here we go. We're going to get ready to the 5 red lights. And it's lights out, very quick light there. The 5th one caught me off guard a little bit, and Vettel off to a great start. I'm going to try and keep it on the inside into turn 1, try and fight him a bit. There is already rain falling on the circuit, the Gilles Villeneuve here, and the rain has come very early. So Sebastian Vettel takes a race here. I've got Raikkonen on my inside looking for the move. I'm going to try and hold it around the outside of the Iceman, and we've just about held on to it. Sebastian Vettel, though, taking the lead of the race here. And the question is, can we keep up on these super softs, considering Vettel's going to be an ultras in these sort of conditions where the track is getting more and more damp. We'll have to wait and see. Raikkonen now on the back of me for company as well, so we're fighting the Ferraris here early on at Canada, so we've got to try our best to try and keep them at bay and keep ourselves in this motor race. As I just tapped the wall there, it's going to put me on the back foot, and Raikkonen's going to have a sniff around my outside into the hairpin here. I'm going to have to try and brake late and try and hold onto my inside line, force Raikkonen to the outside, pick up the traction slowly, and there we go, we've held on to second place. The question is, can we keep up with Sebastian Vettel? Okay, so far the signs are good. We've kept up with Sebastian Vettel, and Raikkonen's actually gone into a battle with Sergio Perez. So here we go, picking up a slipstream on Sebastian Vettel, whose Ferrari is sparking up. We're going to pull to the inside, and can we make the move into the chicane? A little bit of contact, front wing loss on Vettel's car, as I was on the inside, and we've managed to make the move on the German there. I think he lost some front wing, I'm pretty sure, so Vettel's going to be at disadvantage, and we've retaken the race lead here at the Canadian Grand Prix, and DRS is currently enabled. The question is, for how much longer? The grip is just starting to get a little bit thin, and the lap time, as you can see, proving that we are just starting to slow down a bit now. This could be a possible lap if we struggle. Vettel causing trouble behind us with his damaged front wing, and that's giving me time to break away. Almost 5 seconds clear already from the nearest car, which is Kimi Raikkonen, so that's going to give me a nice little cushion as we go into the pit lane to come in for intermediates eventually. So far, we're looking pretty good. We just got to try and hold on. I think this could be the lap. The rain's getting pretty heavy now. Right, I've just been offered a tyre switch to intermediates. That's normally a good sign. So we're going to come in this lap and strap on the green wall intermediate tyres. We're going to slow it down and make sure we don't speed into the pit lane. There we go, very nicely done. And we've got a nice cushion, like I said, and we're going to have no issues with being held up by any of the cars around us. So this should be a pretty straightforward pit stop. And there we go, DRS disabled. So we've pretty much got this perfect. The team have called me in at a good time, and a bang on 2-second flat pit stop. Really, really good stuff from the team. And we're now going to get back on our way. Raikkonen looks like I might have got held up there. So here we go, we're going to rejoin the track. Everyone's coming in for intermediate, so it's a good call. And it does look like this rain's going to be here for about 10 minutes. So let's see how we cope in these conditions. We've got Kevin Magnussen here, and we're just going to try and get past him. He's a bit slow for the corner, so we're going to get the power on and slip up the inside of the Dane and take the inside line through the chicane. And there we go, we're past Kevin Magnussen and up into PE4. So already the intermediate's paying off for us. Right, we've got the remaining cars coming to the pit lane now, so we're going to re-inherit our race here. A little bit hot into the chicane there, just braking a bit late, but we are going to retake first place, and it's going to be by quite some margin here. So let's wait and see, and see where Raikkonen ends up, because I know he probably lost a bit of time in the pit stop phase, so I think he might be a little bit further back than what he was before in the dry period. And there you go, 8.5. Raikkonen lost a lot of time in that switchover period, so we've got a nice little cushion now to try and perform in these conditions. So let's try and get a head down and try and set the pace up front, and hopefully the rain will drop sooner rather than later. Okay, quite surprisingly so far, I'm able to actually keep Raikkonen at bay. I'm actually lapping a little bit quicker than him, and the gap is currently 8.6. So right now, we are doing very well to keep the Ferraris at bay. So if we keep doing this, we're going to be looking pretty good for when we eventually transition back to dry tyres. Okay, so the rain's going to apparently ease up in the next few minutes. I'm still pushing very hard here, and the gap to Kimi now over 9 seconds. So we are actually extending our lead over the Iceman, which is very, very impressive. And so far, the pace is very good. To say it's wet conditions, which I've struggled with all season, this track just seems to be working for me. I don't know what it is, but wet or dry, we are quick around here, and that is great in terms of me feeling just in the superior car. Okay, the rain has officially stopped now, so any minute we could be switching over to dry tyres. Right, we're going to come in for our second stop of the race. DRS now enabled, so perfect timing. And we're going to come in for a set of super soft tyres. The question is, I don't know if I'll be able to get these to the end. That's going to be the real threat or challenge, should I say. If we can't get these to the end, then I can always just strap on a set of ultra softs and just go really fast at the end. But preferably, I'd like to get on these supers and try and get them to the end. But we have a nice cushion over the Ferrari, so if we had to run the ultras, I can run them. Also, as you can see, yellow flag in front. Nico Hulkenberg has just retired from the race. Raikkonen has opted for the yellow wall soft tyres, so with that in mind, I could potentially run a ultra soft and catch him if I wanted to and go for an extra stop. So let's see how this tyre holds up, and let's see if we can get to the end on this. Okay, it seems like everyone has gone for the soft compound tyre, so we have got a tyre advantage now in this stint, so we can go faster than those around us, hopefully. So it's just a question of trying to switch this tyre on now and try and find some lap time. This is the first proper lap now, I'd say, in dry conditions. Gap to Raikkonen 9 seconds. Let's try and extend that. There we go, fastest lap into the 1 minute 14s. The pace is now starting to pick up. Okay, the track is getting really quick now. Lap times are tumbling, and everyone's going fast at the minute. There we go, another fastest lap. I'm the only man doing purple laps now. I'm the man setting the pace around this circuit. Right, I'm at 1 minute 12.1, and I think that's probably going to be the fastest I get at the minute, because the track has sort of hit like a dry spot where also tyre performance, I don't think I'm going to go any faster than that. Raikkonen right on that gap is 9.4. We are slowly pulling away, but to be fair to Raikkonen, he's keeping it in there. My question now is trying to get these tyres to the end of the race. If not, then I'm going to have to come in for ultras. I will rejoin in second place no matter what, as I've got enough of a gap to Lewis to come out ahead of him. So the question is, can I get my gap to Raikkonen any bigger? There we go, another fastest lap. Absolutely just equaled the last one I just did. Absolutely incredible, but we're keeping the pace at a very high standard here, and we're now about to come up to a little bit of traffic in the form of Carlos Sainz. Gap to Raikkonen now above 10 seconds. Right, I think I'm going to try and stay out here. I was going to come in that lap, but looking at my tyre wear, I reckon I can make this work, and I've got a 9.9 second gap to Kimi Raikkonen, so the tyres are starting to fade a little bit, but I've still got good pace, and now it's a question of trying to conserve the gap. You know, Raikkonen can chip away at that gap if he wants to, but as long as I can maintain that, then I'm pretty good. And as you can see, the gap is now 10.1, so we're sort of exchanging sector times at the minute, but Raikkonen's definitely found a bit of pace in the last couple of laps. But all I've got to do now is keep it cool, keep it calm, keep it collected, and try and bring this car home, whilst also now having to start to navigate this lap traffic, which might cause me a problem because Sainz was a bit of a pain in the ass to overtake, so I'm hoping these guys are not as bad. Okay, I need Ericsson to really get out of the way here because blue flags are waving. I don't want him to slow down on the apex, so I want him to try and switch out of the way. There we go. He's pulling over to the left-hand side. Can I pass him, though? Yes, I can. There we go. Right. That's one guy down. I was getting a bit nervous. I thought he might have brake-checked me into the chicane. That's why I sort of backed off a bit, because I wasn't sure. I know that AI can be a bit stupid at times, so I had that in mind. Okay, this time we have Pascal Verlaine. I do have DRS, so hopefully Pascal will just brake early for me. No, he won't. He's going to sort of get in my way a bit, which isn't ideal. Really frustrating this. AI is just a bit dodgy. I know they're a bit dodgy around this circuit. That's why I'm a bit concerned. But yet again, another poor lap there. And that's going to give Raikkonen a bit of time to gain. I think I'm pretty okay. I feel comfortable, but this is allowing Raikkonen to catch up. Gap down at 8 seconds now. So, not good. Okay, Raikkonen has car trouble. Apparently he's got a problem on his car now. So that's going to basically mean I'm going to pretty much win this race now, unless there's an absolute calamity. So Raikkonen could actually maybe lose the podium here if Hamilton is fast enough. So Raikkonen under pressure now to maintain his second place. Right then, on the back straight for the final time on the last lap of the Grand Prix. And it looks like we are going to come home to win our second race in a row, just through the final chicane for the final time. Nice and easy through there. And there we go. We're going to come to the checker flag and win the Canadian Grand Prix. Our second race this season and our second race in a row after Monaco. Brilliant result and another 25 points on the board. And could our season just be starting to get back on track? I believe last season as well, we won at Monaco, we won at Canada, and I think we won at Baku as well. So if we could do that again this season, that'd be absolutely incredible. I think we got second in Baku. Either way, if we can just continue to build a bit of momentum like this, then we'll be looking pretty damn good for ourselves. So let's hope we can keep on pushing as a team here, because that was a very, very good result for me. And I'm going to try and keep on pushing here. and try and get more points, because if we could just, like I say, get these results, our championship title chase could be back on track, and that would be massive, because I do want to try and leave Williams and leave them with a parting gift of at least winning one of the 2 championships. So overall, good race for me. Esteban Ocon there, only P9, disappointing one for the Force India driver, but as you can see, there we are on the podium, top step for the second race in a row, joined by Hamilton and Raikkonen. Raikkonen managed to survive a second place, and Hamilton, I believe, crossed the line right next to him, but luckily he didn't manage to pass him. So Raikkonen holds on to second place there. But overall, that's the podium for the Canadian Grand Prix. And we're now going to move into the final race results, drivers and constructor standings. Right, so looking at the final race results, we win the Canadian Grand Prix with Kimi Raikkonen in second place and Lewis Hamilton in third, rounding up the podium. Sebastian Vettel just misses out in P4. It was Sergio Perez in a very good P5 for him, and Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen in P6 and P7. Fernando Alonso in a great 8th place for McLaren there, scoring a few points for them. And Ocon, who I said 9th was disappointing, turns out he actually started from 20th, so fair play to him. Good recovery drive there. And Romain Grosjean rounding up the points with Stoffel Van Dorn just missing out in the other McLaren. But further down the order, you can see Nico Hulkenberg, Valtteri Bottas and Felipe Massa all retired from today's race. But in terms of the driver standings, you can see we are now up to P6, overtaking Valtteri Bottas and only 28 points behind Sebastian Vettel now. That top 6 is getting very close all of a sudden, and obviously only 2 points in it. We could be in 4th place after the next race if we're lucky, but this is going to be very interesting now, because Ferrari don't go well at Baku. They struggled last season, so there could be an opportunity here for the Mercedes power cars to gain even more ground on the red cars, and the table could be pretty damn close after that race. But in terms of constructors, you can see that we now actually take 4th place, overtaking Red Bull there thanks to my 25 points, and back where we finished at the end of last season. So good progress from us there, and hopefully we can continue on this way on an upward trajectory and try and push on. But we're now going to move into the laptop and purchase a couple of upgrades. Okay, so seeing as we're going into power circuits, I'm going to purchase an engine power upgrade, which is going to be the last one of the minor ones. And we're also going to buy the upgrade that was meant to arrive for Monaco, which failed us, which is going to be only 450 points. And then we have 864 left over. Now, I've got 2 choices here. I could basically keep those points and build on them, or purchase the final engine upgrade for some fuel saving. I don't really consider it that important, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off for now, and I'm maybe going to work my way towards one of these big aero ones to try and push us in the aero department forward. So we're just going to hold on to the 800 points for now and have that double upgrade arrive, hopefully for the next race in Baku, and be even faster still. And in terms of the R&D tree, obviously, as you can see in the bottom right, we'll be a little bit closer to Mercedes in terms of our overall progress. But other than that, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this episode of Career Mode. If you have enjoyed it, then please do leave a like on the video. Let's try and smash 250 likes for this episode. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for future F1 content. And also, please be sure to do check out these videos on screen if you have missed them by chance. And finally, do check out GT Omega in the links down below in the description. Use the code TOM97 for a 5% discount on any of your purchases. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Let's have my next video very soon. Goodbye.